Hey everybody, Matt here, and today I wanted to, start a little bit of a mini series on infertility, and especially on male infertility. So some of you, I think most of you probably know by now, that is something that we have had to deal with thanks to my chemo, and great, I'm alive. Obviously that's priority number one when you have cancer, but infertility is something that a percentage of cancer survivors deal with, and it's not something for just people who've gone through cancer. There's a number of reasons that you can deal with male infertility, and so it's kind of it's a topic that a lot of guys don't like to talk about, and something that there's not necessarily a ton of information out there on, and you really have to dig to find anything. And a couple different things, I've been very fortunate to have some contacts and some people that I can talk to get some more information and have conversations on how I'm feeling and things that I'm thinking and things like that. So I've been very fortunate, but I know a lot of folks aren't. And so I wanted to put together, a series on infertility and some of the things that I've gone through, some of the things that I've seen and learned, and in hopes that, one, it kind of brings to light a little bit of the struggle that guys go through when it comes to infertility, because again, there's not a lot of information out there. But also try to normalize infertility and talk about it in hopes that it becomes something that, as guys, we're more willing to talk about and more willing to open up on and share information about. So there's a number of things that you can do when you have male infertility to still have a family. So for me, with the cancer side of things, there is the chance, is still kind of a chance that it could reverse and come back. So once you hit a year, that's kind of when, more often than not, if it's going to return, it returns. So I'm past that year point of having chemo, and it hasn't returned for me. So odds are it's not going to, but there is always the chance that it could. Another option, and this is something that we tried and were not able to do, so I'll get into that and some other things more in later videos, but you can bank your sperm, and that can be cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So there are organizations out there that will help cover the cost and kind of help with some of that side of things. So it is definitely something to look into, and we kind of glossed over it, a little bit. We were much more focused on let's get chemo going so that we're good to go, and very happy that we did that. But I think had we waited 1, 2, 3 days, it probably wouldn't have changed the outcome as far as my amputation, still being alive, things like that. So I do regret a little bit not having done that. So just kind of as a piece of advice, make sure you take the time to think about your options too. Don't rush into any decisions. Obviously talk to your doctors if it's something that is potentially life and death, but take your time, relax, ask the questions, do your research, things like that. Another option is, of course, adoption. That is, again, not something that's very cheap. Really nothing with infertility is cheap and easy to deal with mentally and financially, and that's something I think that needs to change. You look at adoption and you're talking 20, 30, 40 plus $1,000 just to adopt a child, and it's not something I think should be easy, obviously, but it is extremely cost prohibitive. And there are organizations and, again, things that you can do to raise money. You can have fundraisers, you can get loans, things like that for it. Even my employer has a dollar amount that they will give to help offset the cost of that a little bit. So there are options, and absolutely something to look into. And then the fourth thing, and that was the thing that my wife and I actually ended up doing, is using donor sperm. And that is something that really there's nothing out there for it. It's extremely hard to find any information and to, get your questions answered from a guy's perspective on that. And it's something I really struggled with, and that's going to be the primary focus of one of the videos later on, is the questions that I had and kind of some of the ways that I went about getting answers to those and figuring things out. So again, we'll have some more videos to come. This is something that I feel very strongly about, is trying to get that information out there and to normalize it and make it so that it's not such a, taboo subject, but something that people are willing to talk about. And you're not looked down upon. I mean, having male infertility makes you no less of a man. It makes you no less of a father. You're the exact same person, and you can still be just as good of a dad as you can through any of those options, as if there was natural conception. So if it's something that you're struggling with, or somebody that you know is struggling with it, don't get down on yourself, and just keep pushing forward. Look at the options. Again, do your research, and I'll have some more videos that come kind of explaining, like I said, a little bit more in depth on my side of things, my story, and the conversations and the thoughts and everything that I had, along with kind of some of the things that my wife and I discussed. So follow along on my Instagram, on my Facebook page, and then I've got my YouTube channel. I'll be posting videos on there as well. So I'll put the links in for those. I've got my blog also that I'll kind of have some different information on, so I'll have a link for that as well. Feel free to follow me on there. But again, I look forward to sharing the information and getting the story out there, and trying to hopefully make it more normal, and help any other guys that are going through this to realize that it sucks, it's not fun, but it is okay, and it is something that you can get through. So hope you guys follow along, and can't wait to see you guys on the next video.